It was the year 2012, and God had radically changed my life, along with my family, when we had rededicated our lives to the Lord the prior year. I did not know before, but I learned then that Jesus has called us all to be missionaries. Our mission field is where our feet are planted. I do not want you to be misinformed and ignorant of God's truth like I was. So I am here to let you all know that every Christian should go on at least one short or long-term mission trip, and that we all should look at our everyday lives as a mission from the Lord. During the spring of 2012, our church began asking for volunteers for the annual Haiti missions trip. And they did this by showing a video of the previous experiences that they had had on trips prior. And there was just something about the precious children of Haiti that touched both my husband and I. And so we decided that we wanted to go on the Haiti missions trip. Now you have to understand, this was totally out of my comfort zone. I like to have control of things, and on this trip, I would be at the complete mercy of our leaders. I also had never been on an airplane before, and I had never left my children out of the state, much less going to another country that I would not have been able to speak with them the whole week we were gone. In 2012, it was 2 years after the great earthquake, and the state of the country was still very bleak and very impoverished. According to an article written by Brown, Rip, and Kazura in 2012, quote, Haiti ranked 145th of 169 countries in the United Nations Human Development Index, the lowest in the Western Hemisphere. It was considered a fifth world nation, and with the influx of people coming in from other nations, there was a cholera epidemic in the country. There was also a threat of kidnappings or riots that could happen at any time, because the government was still very unstable. With all of that in mind, along with our terrified families who did not want us to go, we took a leap of faith and we went to Haiti. That trip changed my life. From the fundraising beforehand to riding in the back of a truck on the wild and crazy roads of Haiti, I learned a whole new level of what faith in God is. I could just feel the prayers for us as we went about doing our mission. I truly understood what it meant to have the peace that passes all understanding, and the love that we received by the adults and children at the orphanage that we were helping, and the truly unexplainable hope that was in their eyes, even though they had very little, was so inspiring. I learned so much about the Lord, about respecting other cultures, and how much to be thankful for on that trip. I felt like that I had been ministered to more than I had been able to minister to others. There are many benefits of Christians going on mission trips, and they help both the people in the area that they're going to, but they also help the missionaries themselves. A mission trip can be either going to another country, or within inside your country, or even within inside your state. But when you stay in your same community with people that are similar to you, and you never travel outside of that area, you tend to get a narrow vision of how vast and big the world really is. But going on a mission trip outside of the area in which you live helps you get a better perspective. Learning about other cultures also helps you to better understand people and relate to them, so that you can tell them about the Lord in a way that will relate to them and their culture. Going on a mission trip to an area outside of where you live also helps to motivate Christians to volunteer more in their local areas, and also be more aware and concerned about local civic issues. According to authors from the Department of Sociology at the University of Notre Dame in 2011, quote, taking a mission trip significantly increases the likelihood of adolescents participating in various forms of civic activity, particularly religious-based volunteer work. I think it would be safe to say that the same goes for adults as well. Just as what happened with me on my first mission trip, along with the 4 more trips to Haiti that I've made since then, going on a mission trip to an area outside of where you live also ministers to the person that is the missionary. Because, at least for the time being, you're concerned about issues beyond yourself. I've also found that growth and personal healing happens during this time as well. According to an article written by James P. Reinars in 2011, a study was done on the effects of mission trips on missionaries, and it concluded, quote, that with good trip preparation and leadership, short-term mission trips will be more effective in promoting spiritual experiences among trip participants. In Matthew 28, verse 19 through 20, it was the very last thing that Jesus instructed his disciples and ultimately us to do. And it was to go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. In conclusion, I hope I have encouraged all of you to make some missions plans yourself. The fact of the matter is, it does not matter if you're going to Africa, Haiti, or your local grocery store. Everyone needs to hear the good news of Jesus Christ. And we all need to be on mission every day that we have the opportunity to talk with someone. As far as missions trip, there are different kinds, such as medical missions, relief missions, crusade missions, or missions where you build something such as a school, church, or an orphanage. Check with your local churches for missions opportunities. Thank you, and God bless.